Hey everybody, it's Mike from Orderflows, and in this quick video, I'm going to talk about some of the highlights that I saw in the order flow over April 18th and April 19th, and I'll be talking about specifically the E-mini, the ES market, and looking at a 1-minute chart. You know, a lot of people ask me, Mike, why do you look at a 1-minute chart? Well, you know what, that's what the majority of traders that are, especially when they're new to trading, will start to look at. They'll start looking at time-based charts. Now, this is your pretty much your basic footprint chart, right, which shows you the bid offer volume as well as the point of control and the delta at the bottom. Now, when most people come into order flow, you know, this is what they're looking at. And, you know, while this is a good tool, you can find some interesting things happening in the order flow. So, for example, this is yesterday. This is April 18th. This is around 9:45 in the morning. You know, we had just popped up about 9:26, 9:27. We made these little new highs at 44.03 and a half, 44.03 and 3/4. Started to come off a little bit and kept testing that high up here. You can see we tested it again at 9:41. Then we got within one tick of the high again at 9:44 and again at 9:46. Now, what was interesting about this high of the day, that's what this green line comes along at the top. Now, there's if you're not really comfortable with using NinjaTrader 8, you know, they do provide some free tools. And one of the tools that I like to use is a free NinjaTrader tool. It's called Current Open Day High Low Close. You just scroll down and you'll find it in here. It says current day open high low. It's a good reference point. You know, the high and the low of the day obviously is a good intraday reference point. And if you're an intraday trader, you know, you need to know where that is. So it's good just to have that line drawn up there. So as we're coming up here testing these highs, we hit it, test it once, twice, a third time. Now, what was interesting when we're up here at this high, now normally you're at the highs, right? If you're going to expect the market to go higher and keep going higher and higher, you're going to be looking for aggressive buying, right? And the clearest sign of aggressive buying in the market is positive delta. Delta is the net difference between the aggressive buyers and the aggressive sellers. If delta is positive, means aggressive buyers were in control of that bar. If the delta in the bar is negative, that means the aggressive sellers were in control. Okay, so we're up here at this high. We hit the high, hit a new high. We got negative delta. First time it's negative 72. Then the next time it's negative 118. That's not a good sign of a strong high, right? Because when you hit that high, you got selling coming in. Okay, then it comes off a little bit. You know, it comes off from 4,400 down to, what is that, about 96, 95, and just sort of goes sideways, comes back up, hits that high again. This time we got positive delta of 224. The bar right before it was positive delta as well, 177. Okay, so we're seeing some signs here. We got some positive delta coming in, and then we just go sideways. We don't take out the high. We come off, and we just sort of go sideways with some positive delta, 134, 234. Okay, it's not, you know, small. It's not negative. You know, right now it's still positive. So, you know, maybe this market can take out the high. Come up here within a tick of the high, and we've got negative delta. Okay, so we're making a run back up at the high, but sellers are coming in. The aggressive sellers are coming in this time. Market comes off a little bit. We got negative delta. The bar, you know, it starts trading down, but then it comes back up. So it did have some buying late in the bar, not enough to turn it positive. And then we get this next bar here at 946, where we come up again within one tick of the high, and we got positive delta. But the market just reverses and closes down. It's a red candle. A red candle with positive delta is, what do you think is going to happen, right? You see the positive delta, you think, well, there's aggressive buying, we should go higher. But actually what's happening is supply is now coming into the market. Okay, we're seeing buying imbalance here, 47 against 0, 88 against 0. Obviously you got the 206 against 41 here. This is what's causing this positive delta right in here. Because as this market starts trading back up towards the high, there's supply in the market. There's passive sellers offering it out up here to willing aggressive buyers, thinking that this market's going to break out and go higher. Well, it doesn't, right? And those buyers, this is we had the high here, so this is the second, third, this is the fourth time we're making an attempt at that high. And people are just tired, right? Traders, they're running out of bullets, so to speak, to take this market higher, and it doesn't go anywhere, right? And then the market eventually sells off from there. So sort of one of the signs, or early when we first hit that high, you had that negative delta, strong negative delta. Then you're just sort of going sideways with mostly negative deltas, some positives coming in here, then negative, negative, and then get that last burst of aggressive buying coming in here, but it's met with supply in the market. It's met with strong offers, right? Strong passive sellers that are there, just, they're happy to sell up here because they're anticipating the market to go down, right? And usually, people talk about smart money and dumb money. This is the smart money up here, right? They got a lot of supply. They're holding a lot of contracts. They're happy to offer it out up here, right? Maybe they bought from lower, below 43.90 or even much lower. And as the market's trading up here, they think the run is over. So they're happy to offer it out up here for all those willing buyers. And once the buyers that are buying the heck out of it, trying to get it to go higher, realize they can't, they start selling, right? That's why this bar reverses very quick, okay? And then the market just sort of goes sideways and, starts heading down, right? It drops from that 44.00 area, the 10-point drop down to 43.90, where there was a strong bid here. You can see 1130 traded on the bid right at the low of this bar. Now this yellow line is the opening price of the session, but that was its target, right? It's a nice 10-point move down. Now, if you remember yesterday, right? I mean, we sold off quite nicely. Then going into the close, we had that very, very strong rally, basically after about, what was that, about 230, 240-ish, right here, actually 250-ish. I mean, we're selling off from this nice move down from 80 down into the 60s. We'll get down here at 251, get this nice reversal bar, and then the market shot right back up above 4,400. So it made this nice, beautiful move from, below 43.70 up to 44.00, and it happened very quickly. It happened in about 15 minutes. And what were the signs in the order flow? Well, there was a number of signs actually, if you know what to look for. Okay, so you could sort of see some of the buying coming in here, because remember, right, we had been selling off, and selling off quite dramatically. You see all this red, right? This is all negative delta. Okay, you're seeing small positive deltas, 39, 67, 60, 53, 85. So, whatever little buying that you had in there, just really wasn't much. You're just getting run over by the aggressive sellers, 500, 600, 875, 400. And we started hitting these little pockets in here, some nice positive delta, 250, 900, 500, but then there's still a little bit more selling comes in, minus 100. Market drops down to this area here at 1451. Now, again, if you're just looking at a normal footprint chart, okay, if you're an experienced trader, you can start to see some of these things, right? This was a prominent point of control. You're starting to see multiple buying imbalances come in. And this area, why did the market come back to this area down here, right? 65. Why didn't it come down to 63, 60, even down here to 61 or 60 or something? Well, this is where understanding certain things in the order flow is going to come in handy. Now, I have my Orderflows trader software. I started this video because I just wanted to show you some of the basic stuff on order flow. But when you start looking at, some of the advanced things of order flow, things such as, prominent points of control. So let me turn them on. Okay, prominent point of control, prominent point of control. I'll turn on, what is this? The value areas. So you can see this is the bar value area. Okay, and I'll turn on the imbalances, right? The multiple imbalances, meaning, buying imbalances, several buying imbalances in a bar, or several selling imbalances in a bar. Okay, so let me just add that on. Give this chart a second to appear. Let me just get something to drink real quick. Okay, coming up here. Give it a second. Where is my cursor? Okay, boom. All right, so you see it's now we're seeing a different picture. Okay, we're seeing the value area in the bar here. Okay, we're seeing the prominent point of control. It's highlighted here. Okay, it's got this was a cyan color for the point of control as opposed to just your normal black. You're seeing this pink box around. It's actually a magenta box, so it's telling me there's multiple buying imbalances. Okay, so how does this little rally differ from this rally here? Okay, so because here you got the positive delta, right? 252, 927, 541. Here you got negative 564, okay, and then positive 570, positive 1109, positive 821, and this was the one that rallied, right? This one, it just sort of fell over again. Well, here you've only got 1, 2 imbalances here, 1 imbalance here. You don't have 1 imbalance here. Okay, so you got the positive delta, but you don't really have much else. Point of control is not really giving you much of information. It's just your normal point of control sort of appearing, sort of in the middle of the bars. This one here has this nice prominent point of control sticking out. Okay, and you got this magenta box around there. It's telling you that you have aggressive buying in the bar and coming in at 3 or more levels, 1, 2, 3 right here. It's not a stacked buying imbalance, right? A lot of traders like to look for stacked buying imbalances. This is not a stacked buying imbalance. This is just buying imbalances that are spread out in the bar. And you have this level, right? See this green zone being drawn out here between 43.60, 43.64 and 3/4. This was an area, this was a reference area generated from earlier around 11 o'clock. Let's just scroll back. Okay, this was a value area here that was important, right? That's why it's being drawn out, right? Even in this bar here, you got this nice little rally. You've got this bullish prominent point of control right here, and it's drawing out this zone here, 43.66 to 64 and 3/4. It's an area we're looking for. If the market comes back to it, it might hold if the order flow, shows some signs of it holding. And what happened? It came right back into that area, literally right carbon copy right into that zone from 65 to 66. This zone is drawn from 66 to 64 and 3/4, and that's where the rally started. So, trying to buy this little bounce here with the nice positive deltas, that's just not enough to go on. But when you start adding in the positive deltas here, and this one does have a negative delta, but why? Because you have support here, right? This 1574 on the bid side, right? At this area of 43.65.5, there was buyers that came into the market, passive buyers to support this market. This was their level, okay? And you can see it in here. That's why you have the negative delta of 564, because the aggressive sellers thinking this market's still going down, right? They're selling it, but there's someone there just happy to absorb all that selling, okay? That's why you got the negative delta. So that's why I'm not panicking. I say, oh, negative delta minus 500. I should be looking to get short. Well, no. Why is it negative? It's because you have people coming in there absorbing that selling. Okay, then the market rallied up nice 30 points right from that. And, this is on a 1 minute chart. I know a lot of people say, oh, you can't trade a 1 minute chart. Well, sometimes if you're looking at a 5 minute chart, a 15-minute chart, you're missing that minute detail that's going to give you the clue of a move that's about to start or a market that's turning. So you're seeing a lot of information in here of a market getting ready to turn, and it turned. It made that nice move. Okay, so let's talk about today, April 19th. Again, there was a couple interesting things as well today, and again, it happened right around the close as well. So let me just go back to that time. Where is it here? Now this time we were coming off. We had just made new highs late in the session. Okay, we made this high here at what was that? 239. Made this high. That was at 65 and 3/4. Then we made this high up here at 67, and then the market dropped. Okay, it doesn't look like much of a drop, but you got one bar that's dropping from 60 and a quarter down to 48 and 3/4. So that's over a 10-point drop in this one bar, and obviously the next bar very similar, about 9 points. But what were the signs here? Okay, well, look as we're coming up into the high. Okay, this first high, actually, when I saw this, I thought this market was just going to fall over. It didn't. It rallied up, made that new high, but it started to fall over because why? Right? We're coming up here. We're making these new highs. And the deltas, they're still positive, but it got interesting. It was 208, 389, 668. Then right after the high, it's still positive, but 191, and then 3, negative 68. So it was going and it was making what you would expect to happen as you're making that high. But once you made that high, the buying just dried up. I mean, it was still aggressive buying. It was 191 and 3, which is nothing, but the price action in this bar is down. And what you would want to see ideally is, a green candle, or something not really indicative of a market that's ready to drop. And then you see the next candle, right? I mean, honestly, this one candle by itself, probably not enough to go on thinking this market's going to drop. But then when you get that next candle, I mean, this positive delta of 3 might as well be minus 300 for all intents and purposes. You're seeing that exhaustion print in there as well. But you just see the delta. It's not behaving the way you'd want to see it for a market that you're expecting to make a new high right away. I mean, eventually, the market did sell off. Again, it doesn't look like much, but you're talking a sell off from about 60 down to 55. Then it rallied again. Now you see something very similar. Okay, boom, you make the new high, or the bar right before the new high, positive delta 1,000. New high, positive delta 1,300. Great. We're going to keep going up, right? Just like yesterday, we had that monster rally going into the close. Now we're going into the cash close, but where's the buying? It's gone. You see positive delta of 126. It's not what you want to see for a market that's going to be going higher. Just as here, it was positive delta of 191. But again, you'd want to see it a little bit stronger. Okay, but again, that one bar by itself, just like this one bar by itself, not enough to go off of. Wait for the next bar. Okay, the next bar, 39 delta. Now this bar was interesting because early in that bar, there was very strong selling. It was minus 726. It actually closed up positive at 739. And normally I'd find that bullish, but where it's happening at the high of the day. I'm always a bit hesitant of buying like that. That can't go any higher. And again, you're seeing the delta shrinking, 1,300, 126, 39. That's not the sequence you want to see. You want to see, 1,300, maybe 500, at least 300 or 400 here. Instead, you're seeing the market, the aggressive selling coming in, and then boom, the bottom just drops out right here, minus 1,300. You just made the high, and you're getting very strong selling coming in here. Again, market drops here, comes back up, makes that attempt to come back up. It's testing this zone here, this value area zone, and it just trades right into it, and then it drops back down from 60 down into the 40s, going into the close. Now, again, I don't want to get too much into it, but that's how using delta, using point of controls, using imbalances can sort of give you an insight into the market. So hopefully you found this video useful. So if you've enjoyed this video, be sure to hit the like button. If you want to see more like this, be sure to click subscribe. I'm trying to post more and more videos up there for you guys. And obviously, the more you like them, the more positive feedback I get, the more I'll be posting. So thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.